The following program is brought to you by TZ Productions, offering 40 years of media experience.
The Alvin and Rosalie Sarachek Trust, supporting arts, history, science, and this program on KPTS.
This is where the stars align for great conversations. Coming up, a young Kansas woman of accomplishment. She devotes her talents to helping the next generation succeed in life. Her name, Prisca Barnes. This 36-year-old Wichita dynamo is the great-granddaughter of slaves and the daughter of a pastor and teacher. Barnes is a talented musician with a master's degree in mass communications and a resume that would be impressive for someone twice her age. She has served as director of the Kansas African American Museum and has leadership roles in a number of organizations and civic groups. Barnes has written and illustrated 2 children's books and is founder and CEO of Storytime Village. It's a nonprofit that focuses on helping Kansas kids become better readers so they can become more successful adults. Barnes' latest endeavor is producing a children's television program in which she stars, the Storytime Village TV show. It aims to help kids get excited about reading, and it airs on KPTS Channel 8. Those are the facts. You're about to hear the rest of the story as we go one-on-one with Prisca Barnes. Thank you for joining me. I'm Victor Hogstrom. I'm delighted to welcome the lovely and talented Prisca Barnes. Prisca, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
And it's a pleasure to have you.
A joy to be here.
You know, when I first met you, Prisca, and we had a long conversation in my office, and I said to you, I'm fascinated by you. You must have had some good upbringing. Tell us about those days.
Well, I would like to say that I had a very good upbringing. I had very devoted parents that instilled some really great principles in their children. So I'm the youngest of 3 from my parents' union. And my mother, I can remember her teaching me and some of the youth at our church a song, and it really taught us a really great principle. It said, if you want to be great in God's kingdom, you have to learn to be a servant of all. So I learned at a very young age, service above self. And I also learned, my father also instilled in us that, to whom much is given, much is required. And we were given so much. We had great family, very large and engaged family. And we had everything that we needed, all of the basic necessities, food, shelter, but we also had the things that we wanted as well. And then we had a great community that surrounded us and provided us with lots of opportunity. And so I'm a Wichita child. I'm born and raised here, and I can remember I had really a great time. I spent summers swimming at Fairmount Park, and spent lots of great moments at Joyland, the amusement park that we had that is no longer in existence. But really had very fond memories of my childhood and of the upbringing that my parents afforded us. I really want to make them proud because of what they have given to me and my brothers.
So what kind of child were you?
I would say that I was a wonderful child.
Of course.
Now, if you talk to my brothers, I don't know if they would have the same. But you know, we were required to be pretty. I wouldn't say my parents were like really strict, but they had some requirements of us, and I tried to follow those requirements.
Give me an example.
So I'm a daughter of a pastor. My father
Right.
was a pastor, and he followed the good book. So he really monitored what we watched on television, and just made sure that he knew what was going on in our lives, and my mother as well. We were the family that had dinner together every evening. I had to set the table, and they kept us quite busy. I think we were a little too busy to get into too much mischief, because we were active in the church, and we were active in the community. So I almost had to be a good child.
Well, you know, some pastors' children.
Yeah,
You've
but
heard the story.
I wasn't one of those. I was fairly obedient. Now, you know, when you get to be around 15 or so, you might think that you're grown. But my mother, she helped me to understand that I wasn't there yet. She kept me in my place as a child. So I tried to do the things that I was supposed to do. I tried to make the grades that I was supposed to. I graduated high school with honors. I wanted to please my parents, and so I did that, and went to college on a full scholarship.
So who are or is your role model?
Well, first and foremost, my mother is my role model. She is an awesome woman that has faced so many challenges and always meets them with grace. So she's my best friend and role model. But then there are women, like I just shared, like Dr. Sharon Cranford. I love her to death. She is just a remarkable woman that's talented, beautiful voice, but then she is devoted to the community. And I remember as a child, she came to my elementary school and she sang, and I just wanted to, and she was a member of the sorority that I'm in now, and she was a member of the Lynx, and I looked up to her. I wanted to be like her. So she's one of many.
You talked about the challenges your mother faced. Mm-hmm. But what is you're only about, what, 34, 35 years old?
I wish. I'm 36.
36? Oh.
You're not supposed to ask a woman her age.
I didn't. I was being nice.
No, just kidding.
But what has been, in your few years on Earth, your greatest challenge so far? There's
a great bar that's been set, not only by my family, who accomplished great things, but those that I admire in the community, those leaders wanting to rise up to that bar, and so each day you put in as much that you can. I go to sleep late and try to wake up early, wanting to give the most of myself. And I think that's the challenge. I'm challenging myself to be the best Prisca that I can possibly be.
You like music?
I do.
You play an instrument?
I do.
And how did that happen?
So our family has a heritage of great music. My grandfather traveled with a jazz band. He was a respected jazz musician. He traveled with big bands, and he settled here in Wichita in the late 1940s, early 50s. And when he settled here, he settled down and started a family, a really big family, 10 kids. But he required of each of his children to play an instrument. So he played the upright bass, he played banjo, guitar, he played everything, string basically, but he challenged all of his children to play as well. And so they passed that tradition down to their children. And so we all play various instruments. I play the violin.
Okay.
I played the violin. I haven't picked it up since college. I started when I was in the 4th grade, and my mother gave me her violin, which I cherished. And then went on to play with the Northeast Area Strings Academy of Wichita, Nassau. It's still in existence today. And my strings teacher, Janice Mills, she not only taught me, but my younger cousins, and we all played in the Nassau. But then I went on to college. I retired the violin after high school, but then went on to college and received a scholarship, so I had to pull it out of retirement. And I played while in college in the Atlanta University Center Symphony. But I was actually on scholarship along with my academic scholarship. I was on a music scholarship to sing. So I was a part of the Philharmonic Society, and we traveled all over the nation. We sang at Carnegie Hall. We sang at really beautiful and prestigious music venues. And that was just a wonderful experience. And that same genre of music, spirituals is what we sang. I still sing today with Arise, which is an African American spirituals group locally. And I sing with my church. I'm the praise leader at my church. And so I keep that tradition, that heritage alive. And if you were ever to come to a McCartney family, which is my mother's maiden name, a McCartney family gathering, you will hear music. We have a special birthday song. So when you think it's time to blow out the candles, don't, because we're not done yet.
How does it go?
Oh, goodness. It's just an extension of the Happy Birthday song. And it's just, in times like these, we need a savior. And we continue that on at the end of the birthday song. But I don't know if I came prepared to sing today.
Okay, but you because of your connections with the Links,
yes,
you've had an opportunity also to travel to West Africa.
That was actually through my experience with the Kansas African American Museum.
Oh, not the Links.
No, so I traveled while I was executive director of the Kansas African American Museum. I traveled with a delegation. It was the mayor at the time was Carl Brewer, and he and Levanta Williams, who was the vice mayor at the time, took a delegation to Ghana, West Africa. And through my role at the museum, I served in the capacity of cultural ambassador. And it was my responsibility to provide the exchange of culture, of history, and the arts between the cultural centers in Africa and the museum in Wichita. And it was just a phenomenal experience, one that I will never forget. We went to the castle dungeons where my forefathers were captive and were taken into slavery, and so we walked out of the door of no return. We went onto that beach where the boats were there waiting. It was just it was a life-changing experience, and so I won't forget that.
It should be memorable.
It definitely memorable.
Yes. So let's come back to Wichita. You are involved in literacy.
Yes.
Why literacy?
Why literacy? So my mother is a retired kindergarten teacher. So she's a retired educator, and really instilled in us the importance of education. It was 2005 when my brother and I published our first children's book. That opened the door to the children's literacy nonprofit. And
you formed Storytime
Village in 2009. And the mission is to inspire a lifelong love of reading for underserved Kansas children.
And you have extended that mission and trying to reach a greater audience.
Yes.
With the services. You have a television program.
Yes.
On KPTS, this station.
Yes, it's brand new. It's so excited about that.
Tell us about how did it all come to your mind to create a program?
So We have always been looking for ways to expand our reach. We have, through Storytime Village, the organization, we have programs that engage families, that really focus on early literacy and provide access to books. Then we stepped into the Children's Literacy Festival, and wanting to utilize that as an opportunity to expand our reach. And while preparing for the Kansas Children's Literacy Conference and Festival, I met someone named Victor Hogstrom. And you and I had such a great meeting and talking about the opportunity to expand your education programming, local programming, and also for Storytime Village to create an even greater reach and reach more families, more children, and really inspire children to have that lifelong love of reading through a place where we can find them often, which is on television. So that opportunity presented itself late last year, and what a joy it's been putting together the show, introducing Wichita to the two new characters, Leroy and Rhonda, and engaging the community. We were out there at some of Wichita's most exciting events, and we're interacting with community leaders that come in and read stories, and really just having fun, inspiring people and children to read.
And you're starring in the program,
so
singing and doing a whole lot of other things.
I'm just having a good, fun time. It's just been a joy.
I know you did not come prepared to sing live, but we have a clip from the show where you're singing show your musical abilities.
It's not my best work, so, but it does share
it
some
shares
of my,
it. So let's take a quick look at that, okay?
Storytime Village. Storytime Village. Place where you can grow. Place where you can grow. That's right now. Storytime Village. Storytime Village. A place where you can learn. Place where you can learn. Come on, let's go. Let's go to Storytime Village. Let's go to Storytime Village. Let's go to Storytime Village. Let's go. Let's go to Storytime. Come on, let's go. Yeah!
Well, that was not so bad.
We'll have to present some of my better talents.
Okay. Well, maybe play the instrument.
Perhaps
on the
we
show.
might pull it back out of retirement.
Okay.
And showcase
I
it.
look forward to that.
Okay.
And now you, as we have established, expanding the reach of the of Storytime Village into
Yes.
a television program.
Yes.
What's the basic goal, the underlying goal
Of the television
of
program?
the show? Yes.
That is to expand the mission of Storytime Village, which is to inspire a lifelong love of reading, and to create community engagement around reading. So there's a saying, these are all our children, will either benefit from or pay for what they become. So this is an opportunity for everyone to join in and be a part of creating a literacy environment for our children.
So we have another clip, or this time not you singing, but the show itself. What are we going to see?
So one of my favorite parts of the show is when we get to showcase our puppets, Rhonda, the reading cheerleader, and Leroy, the literacy cowboy. And they do a segment called Riddles on the Road. And they go out and talk to kids and families and ask them a riddle and see if they can get the answer correct. Okay. And so we'll take a look at one of the riddles on the road.
All right, let's take a look.
Hey, Rhonda.
Hey, Leroy.
I have a riddle for you.
Great, let's hear it.
The more there is, the less you see.
The more there is, the less you see. I'm not sure, but I wonder if any of the kids out at the Support Law Enforcement Parade could tell us.
Yay! That's correct.
Oh, that's awesome. She did a great job.
Yes, it is darkness.
Darkness!
She gets a big yee-haw.
And a big yay!
That was interesting.
They're fun. They're
Yes,
fun characters.
Seems that way. What is the one thing about Prisca Barnes that people don't know about that you would like them to know about you?
I think we've been talking about it. It's those principles that my parents instilled in me. I truly and wholeheartedly want to serve. I want to make the community around me a better place because I'm in it. So I'm very engaged and sometimes overly engaged because I really want to leave a legacy. I want to make my daddy proud.
What would you like that legacy to be?
A legacy of championing education and giving that voice to the voiceless.
So what would be your next challenge as you see life goes on for you?
I hope I have a lot more living to do.
I hope so too.
I hope so. And in that, who knows what's next? So we have a TV show right now. We just the organization, we're getting into publishing children's books. So we just published a new children's book, and then we will be publishing some additional books towards the end of this year. So I'm excited about that. Being a serial author, and then. The sky's the limit. I'm just waiting on God to tell me what's next.
Do you see yourself as a politician in the future?
You know, I've considered that.
I can see that.
But you know, that is, if that's the next direction that I'm supposed to go in, then I'll know that. I'm a firm believer that timing is everything, and right now, the timing is not right for that, but down the road, that may be something. So
what might you be looking at?
You're really trying to get me to tell it all. We'll have to see. There are lots of opportunities out there. I really love my local community, and so there are lots of opportunities to serve locally.
Now, the president of Liberia, the country in West Africa, formed by freed slaves, wrote a book.
Yes.
It's called This Child Shall Be Great. Is that you?
I believe that is what my parents wanted for each of their children.
No, I'm not asking what your parents wanted.
So they wanted that. They instilled that in me, and that is what I strive to be. And then that is what I strive to give to the children that we serve in Storytime Village. I want them to feel like opportunities are endless. Just like I was given that, I want to pass that on. And so I love the title of that book because it's what was given to me. It is because it was given to me, it's what I believe and it's what I've passed on.
Okay, you know, as you've watched this program, I like to play a little word game, thought game. And so let's do the lightning round, short answers, first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
What's your favorite book?
Their Eyes Were Watching God. By Zerl Neale Hurston.
Your favorite music?
It's between gospel and a little R&B.
Your favorite food?
My mom's sweet potato pie.
Oh. What makes you happy?
Spending time with family.
What makes you sad?
The disparities in education.
What's your greatest frustration in life?
Not always having all the resources needed to help all the children we need to help. That's what
You're
really...
beginning to sound more and more like a politician, you know.
No.
What's are you an idealist or a realist?
A little bit of both.
How important is faith in your life?
It drives everything. All of my decisions drives my life.
What do you find most challenging about romantic relationships?
The fact that I don't have any romantic relationships.
So you're saying there's no special someone
There is
in your
no
life?
special someone. Hopefully soon. Next time we talk, hopefully that will change.
Well, we wish you the best.
Well, thank you. I do too.
But you're so involved in so many organizations in the community.
Yes.
Rotary.
Yes.
You're on the board of Rotary.
Yes.
You're a part of the Links.
Yes.
What else?
Oh, so I serve on the board of the Wichita Public Library, and I also serve on, I'm new to Child Start, just very fresh and new to Child Start board. Let's see, I am a member of Junior League of Wichita, a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and that's just off the top of my head. I can't remember everything, but and then very active in my church.
Right. So you're planning to be a mover and shaker here in Wichita.
I want to.
Or Kansas as a whole.
Kansas, there we go.
Or
Yeah.
the nation.
The sky's the limit.
Congratulations. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
One-on-one.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure having you. You are truly a Renaissance woman making a difference for our community.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching this edition of One-on-One. If you have a question or comment about this program, please email us at oneonone@kpts.org. You can also stream past episodes of the program at kpts.org. I'm Victor Hogstrom. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time for another insightful conversation.
The Alvin and Rosalie Sarachek Trust, supporting arts, history, science, and this program on KPTS.
The preceding program was brought to you by TZ Productions, offering 40 years of media experience.